Yo, Pod TV in the house, Toronto at the Lift Cannabis Expo. Hopefully you guys can see and hear us. It's Jeremiah here with my man Craig. You know we're rocking Pod TV, Toronto styles, live. Yeah, we're getting the window up here. Hopefully you guys can see and hear us okay. We're inside the convention center broadcasting from our own little Rogers unit. If it's a little choppy, we're sorry. We're doing our best. We dropped it down to 720 to make sure that it's hopefully working for you guys. But we are in a giant cement brick. So when we're touring around and stuff, it might get a little choppy sometimes. Hopefully at least the audio is super tight the whole time. Yeah, man, I'm really hoping. Let's see. There we go. It's zapping. It's zapping. So yeah, please do let us know about sound and video in the chat. I got my iPhone here to do a little monitoring. We're going to tour around. Man, this place so far already. We just showed up. It's open at 10, and the place is already packed. Like, look around here in the Vapor Lounge.
Yeah, I've been just in the Vapor Lounge for like not even 15, 20 minutes, and I've already got full shows for the rest of my life. What is going on, Pod TV? We're happy here. Already, we've seen D420K. We got Enrico from Sublimator. Jody Emery's here. Man, I'm not even going to list everybody we've seen so far, but you're going to see a whole bunch of them with us today as we try and get into it.
And what's crazy is that there's a whole bunch of people from our community here. We got the strain hunters in the house. There's some of the Dutch companies are here. I didn't think they were coming. I didn't know, but that's totally awesome.
And Snoop might be coming?
Nah, that's a bad rumor. It's not true.
We already confirmed he's not.
Honestly, it's packed out there. A lot of the big name brands are there. You got a big crazy Weed Maps booth with all the glowing and stuff. I heard even CTV has a riser here.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen that yet. I don't see anything rising above the crowd yet. But
That's just going to be us.
yeah, how's the video look out there? Is it choppy? Is it okay? Is it smooth? We're trying to keep it cool for you guys.
Yes, we apologize in advance for any technical issues we may have.
Yeah, we're on the road. So, and actually the funny thing is we have this amazing little cart. It's a Pot TV cart. Can you show it to them? This is our mobile wagon that we're going to be cruising around, going to by booth to show off some stuff. Oh yeah, I see. Maybe we should probably get some slack on that. So yeah, there you go. That's beautiful. We'll do. Don't worry about it then. Yeah, we don't need that much slack. We probably won't be taking it off much anyways. But yeah, it's good to be back in the Metro Toronto Convention Center. As diehard viewers of Pod TV know, we've been here many times before. We've been here for the Treating Yourself Expo several years in a row. And then 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years, was the last Champs Expo, or the one and only Champs Expo. That one wasn't quite as high class as the Treating Yourself one, but the one we're at today looks pretty dope. The aesthetics are right. They got the carpets. It looks good. We haven't been around to tour everything, but so far, man, this one's off the hizzy. And yeah, I think we're going to end up talking to a lot of people at their booths and stuff. What happened yesterday is probably going to set things off in a big way. Yeah. So in a couple minutes, we're going to go talk to Rico and hit some dabs. This is the Vapor Lounge. What'd you see when you went around in the Vapor Lounge?
Yeah, so agreed. Yeah, it's been a hell of a weekend here, and there's definitely a different air in the room than it was initially supposed to be. A lot celebratory because there are licensed producers here. There are dispensaries here. There are people from the gray market from all over the board.
The gray market.
The gray market. And because of what's going on here, it's a little bit less of a celebration, a little bit more tense, but it's definitely a talking point. It's going to have a lot of attention here. I'm sure attendance is going to be through the roof. We've seen a lot of folks here having a good time. A number of companies, yes, including Sublimator, which we can't wait to get over there and check out. Yeah, shout-outs to the Sublimator on Instagram as well, too.
Last night.
Right, so, and then so last night, of course, we had the cannabis culture news from 801 Queen Street West with
the liftoff.
For the liftoff episode. Actually, yes, we're open, the episode, with Jay from the Lake, Mark Emery, Jody Emery, David from Ganja Brothers, Lee from Legal.
Check it out on Pod TV.
Yeah, make sure you go back and check the replay on Pod.tv and Pod TV's YouTube channel. It was a great episode last night. And then once that wrapped up, we officially opened and launched the announcement. We were very happy to do it, of the brand new Cannabis Culture Queen Street West location, 801 Queen Street West, the new Cannabis Culture. We had a little sneak peek in there last night. Can't call it a grand opening, but the point is we're open. Not exactly the plans we had in mind, but an adjusted, hey, you got to have a plan B sometimes. So we're going to get through it. We're going to make it happen. And it's going to be very interesting because I think we're going to be able to hopefully put this camera in a few people's faces and maybe ask some tough questions.
Definitely.
Jer, he's very political and they're rant. I'm more entertaining. Hey, what's going on? So I'll do some plugs and some light shit. He's going to ask some hard questions. We're going to try not to get thrown out of this one. Good time, yeah. Yes. We're not going to hijack too much, though.
Yeah. Oh, and Jody, the boss, is in the house. Oh, how you doing, Jody? Woo, bunny ears.
Bunnies, foo-foo.
That's right. So Jody, kicking ass already. There's been people mobbing you all over the place.
I'm getting a lot of really nice comments. A lot of nice comments.
Because of what happened yesterday.
Because of the press conference and of this guy I was just talking to. He's never met me. I don't think he's ever even heard of me. But he said he wants to get involved with LPs and dispensaries, so whatever. But he said, I was watching the live stream about the whole everything about the press conference. He's like, all I saw was Jody Emery. He's like, I need to find out who this Jody Emery is. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, so we've solidified. Like, that's why I loved at the end of my rant and somebody in the media was like, who are you? Like, I'm Jody Emery. I'm here to save the day.
And if you haven't seen it, you can watch the entire broadcast on Pod TV. We did the whole thing live as we were like getting into the building and everything.
A couple minutes that we didn't catch, but other than that,
I haven't looked at it yet, but I did film the entire thing with my phone holding it up as I was ranting, so we could upload the Jody Emery point of view of the press conference.
I think the funniest part of it, watching it back, is the cop chasing Jared down the hall, who eventually gave up and just stopped walking.
Yeah, he was mad, running after me, like, you can't go in there, and I'm like, slammed the door open and just ran in. Yeah, the cops didn't want us to put our stuff down on, there was all their like gear around, and they were getting angry that we were trying to move a little bit of the brownies out of the way. It was pretty tense in there, but yeah, Jody just chopped him down, basically.
It's actually, it's a little scary. Have you ever actually gone to like the fourth largest city in North America and embarrassed their top cop on the spot? Like the media and stuff were saying, we made him look bad. Yeah. And is there anything worse than making cops look bad?
That's the John Walter situation.
No, I think I just became a...
And in good weed karma, you can see how weed karma goes around sometimes. We didn't come out here for a fight.
No, I didn't
want
want
this. We came out here to celebrate, to have a good time, to cover Lift.
I thought we were going to be opening up dispensaries, coming to Lift, and that was dramatic enough. Yeah. And then this stuff happened. I actually, Thursday was like, I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Right? And so it ended up, luckily, in the weed karma that I'm talking about, we ended up being out here and able to do the two-stage protests and conferences and everything.
Yesterday was a very long, crazy day. When Mark and I were at the end of the night, we were like, was that press conference thing this morning? That was long ago.
It seemed like it was a while ago.
To you too.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm supposed to go do an interview, so maybe
go do your interview.
How's my bangs?
Fabulous, darling. You look fabulous.
This is a high-maintenance haircut. Do not cut bangs if you can avoid it.
High maintenance.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait.
Keep following Jody at Jody Emery across social media and see the especially on
tons of stuff going on Twitter.
About this show, is this tweeted that this show is happening right now?
It's available at Expert Joints, at Cannabis Culture, and at Jody Emery.
I'm gonna go on.
If you go to Cannabis Culture Twitter,
you go to Cannabis Culture
or Expert Joints Twitter.
So twitter.com/Cannabis Culture.
Yes.
That's Cannabis Culture. So yes.
You guys go retweet it.
Yes. Go retweet.
Retweet.
Share and share alike. There you go.
That's the one.
Retweeted on my broken phone. Broken screen. That's what you do when you look at people and go, oh, poor people who broke their screen, and then you do it. Oh, look. How was that? Okay, thanks for holding it down. We'll see you guys around, I'm sure. I'll try and find you. Are you going to go to the Enrico Sublimator booth?
We're going to go over there in just a minute.
I got totally sublimated, and it's been a while, and I feel really good, but it's totally
I'm itching
messing
to
up.
get over there. We got Freddie Pritchard, the Weed King, in the house. What's up, Freddie? We've seen all the Cannabis Canada folks around. Yeah, this
is a good time to bring something up because I'm sure Freddie's going to be in the chat trying to Lift a new asshole for being being in bed with the LPs or supporting the LPs. And the reason that, we actually are really wanting to boycott the LPs in a huge way. We don't like the license producing system. We don't like what's been set up. That doesn't mean all the LPs are necessarily bad, but they're part of an exploitative system. So, and after what happened yesterday in Toronto, I'm having a hard time supporting any LP at all unless they themselves stand up and say what happened in Toronto was wrong. If Tilray or some of these guys stand up and said what happened in Toronto is wrong and they start lobbying for our side, then I will support those LPs. If that doesn't happen, then I want to boycott all of them, anybody who doesn't do that. So And, you know, Freddie is a guy who's been on this issue a lot. He's done some of the testing with the guys from Cannabis in Canada to find out if LP weed is actually what it says it is in terms of the percentages.
And generally, from Freddie's results, what's up, Freddie? They haven't come back according to plan. The man is trying to keep them honest, and at this point, I agree with Jer. There are a couple of them are the less evil. I don't think his evil empire to get there, but in principle, the whole industry is flawed, and it's tough to do what we can do. We're trying to manage the best we can. We're trying to sort it out. And of course, at a big conference, you need big companies, you need small companies, you need a mix of everything. It's difficult for Lift position because they're being shit on when they're just trying to put on the event in general. And there are people here from across the spectrum. It is not just all LPs. We're going to take the camera out so you can see everything. But that said, yes, there's some here. And we have every intention of taking our camera up to them and go ahead with us and actually try and see if we can have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to probably find the CEOs of the company standing in the booth, but we're going to go stick a camera in the face and we're going to talk to them. And this is an issue that we're not going away. We have to protect our industry. We can't have outsiders coming in and running rampant all over us. We need to be able to have input in it. We've been here doing it. We are experts. If you don't have 20, 30 years in weed, you can't be the only ones running weed. So we're going to be here to cover it over. We need patience. There is room for patience and profits if they do it right, but the way they're doing the model right now is flawed. So we're going to be here. Freddie, appreciate it, man.
I just wanted to mention about Lift. Now, Lift is a big group that's doing a lot of stuff. They have a lot of things going on. I don't think that they're in bed with the LPs. I think they're working with the LPs. And I think they're also working with our community. They sent me a judges pack for this event. There's no LP weed in it. No. It's all weed that came from people in our community, extracts, everything, because the LPs are not involved in any of that. So I think what Lift is trying to do is really kind of tailor themselves to both sides of the whole thing, to be kind of an equalizer in between, a sort of diplomatic engine that kind of brings everybody together in this way. When people from our community get together, we wouldn't say no to getting together with all the people from our community, no matter, even if the LPs are here too, we have all of our people here. So we're not going to not get together and see what goes on here. We got to cover this for you guys. And we're not going to boycott something that is including us. And Natasha from Lift was on the radio yesterday with Jody, calling for dispensaries to be left open, calling for the Toronto police to leave dispensaries alone. This is one of the leaders of Lift, one of the people who runs the thing. She was on the radio defending the dispensaries, tooth and nail. So, I think they're on our side.
And I think really when it looks at this is a platform, this is an open market. It's not necessarily Lift's position to be able to get in and be political about it. Basically, they're much like us in media and stuff, offering an open opportunity for people to express their voice and their opinions, bring everyone together. And I think with the attention that's gone on, I think it's actually good to some degree because the LPs are going to get direct feedback from a lot of customers right from here, and they're going to take a lot of lessons out of it. And what do they do with anything? I don't know. But they're going to hear about it from the community because the community is here and well represented. And we're going to do our best along the way. And we want you to, like us, don't support what's not right. We have to protect our entity. And not that we're trying to be selfish. It's a matter of the best interest. They don't offer enough products. They don't offer a wide enough selection. Maybe they will at some point. Maybe we'll all get to work together. There is room for everybody, but we don't like the way they're doing it. And it's not it's not the only option people should have. So we're going to make sure they know that.
Yeah. And yeah, there's these Lift clinics, which Freddie's pointing out in the chat, which is where you can order stuff from LPs. But again, Lift is here they're showing off everybody, not just the LP side of it. And
you'll see, we'll get around the booth, you'll see.
And when it comes to these things, if people are supportive of us and saying, look, we support the dispensaries, we do not want them closed down. And these are people who have the ear of the LPs and have the ear of all these people, and we're trying to bridge that gap. I think that's a positive thing. I don't want to criticize people who don't deserve to be criticized on that level. I'm not saying that it's good that they're working with the LPs and supporting that model. What I'm saying is if there's a way that we can bridge the two and make the dispensaries LPs with a different model, that's what we really need to do. They should make all the dispensaries LPs, but not have them follow these ridiculous regulations, and they ought to free up the regulations. And we want them all to be licensed producers. We want everybody to be able to produce.
And these guys, and these events, I can't lie, these events are expensive. And it doesn't matter what you it doesn't matter what kind of conference you're putting on. Unfortunately, to put on a conference of this size and get big conference centers and stuff like that, it can't all be mom and pops. Mom and pops can't all fund it. So, sometimes it has to come from a little bit of big business. But anyway, we're going to keep going. We got the media passes. We're here to check it out. We're going to be honest. We're not here to rep them. We're here to defend them. We're going to talk to folks best we can. We're trying to be as neutral as we possibly can. Yeah, it's a very interesting situation.
I'm not sure I'm going to be as neutral as I possibly be as neutral. Well, I'm not neutral at all in the idea that any. No, totally. But when it comes to the LPs, don't get us wrong here. I think the LPs. This current system that we have now should be abolished. I don't think
that in the protest, the press conference we jacked repeatedly.
If you saw the press conference, you know what our opinions about this are. So we're here defending the dispensaries in a big way. We're not neutral about any of that stuff.
And we opened 2 dispensaries. We opened 1 dispensary yesterday. We're going to open another one next week.
We ourselves are opening dispensaries in their face. And so we expect that they will probably come and try to arrest us, especially since what happened at the press conference. We kind of slapped them a bit there. And we imagine, like even last night when we opened the dispensary, I think there were a few undercovers hanging around. We're pretty sure that a couple of the people that were there were undercover police officers. But, what can we do? We expect that to happen. So if we end up getting arrested over the next couple of days, that could be what happens. Just support us, and we'll be, there's a big crew of people who got arrested. So we're not out here alone. There's a lot of people in Toronto putting their asses on the line. So.
But what was so crazy about the whole Toronto thing is that not every dispensary got shut. Not everybody got ran up in. There was one place was closed indiscriminately from what seemed to be another place that was open. And whether some were doing medical, some were doing recreational type of situation, it didn't really seem to matter. I'm sure they had their reasoning and justifications based on so-called complaints and their so-called investigation to that effect, regardless how it went down. Yeah, we're there, we're doing it. We're not trying to be on a fuck you tip. We're trying to be here on a peaceful protest, civil disobedience. People have the right to consume, and we're not trying to say that we're medical. We're not trying to put it. We are a recreational cannabis retailer.
Recreational is medical. So for us,
you can use it to what you want.
Yeah, at Cannabis Culture, if you want to use your weed for medical purposes, you want to use it for recreational purposes, that's up to you. We're not, we don't think that any person should have to go to a doctor to use a natural medicine that doesn't harm you. You don't have to go to a doctor to get vitamin C or to get, anything. You can go get Tylenol, which will kill you, and you don't need a doctor's note for Tylenol, and you can die from it. So marijuana, give me a break.
Yeah, and a lot of people come home and have a glass of wine after work just to relax. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that, except alcohol can kill you. But yeah, you don't need a doctor's note for a glass of wine. So in our philosophy, if the standard is you got to be 19 to get alcohol or tobacco or any lottery tickets,
that's bring your ID, and that's it.
Bring your ID.
Cannabis Culture says bring your ID down.
A limited number of selections. Sorry, we can't keep massive amounts on stock. We're obviously want to be smart about it. We're not trying to be deliberately disrespectfully flagrant, but people have the right to access it. We're going to try and do it as smart as we can. And if we eventually get run in, we'll, like other places, come back just like we've done it in Vancouver. That's why we're part of the fight. We don't plan on going anywhere, and we feel that the dispensaries, we feel invested in them now, and we're happy to collaborate with the folks, get involved. And as you saw a few weeks ago on the Pot TV get-together back in Vancouver, before the licensing crackdown came, when we opened the shop the same day, we're in the fight. And last night, patients and other dispensaries were talking to us. People coming to us. As soon as we walked in, we were being ambushed with, thank you for doing what you do, thank you for getting in the fight, what can we do to help? And we're like, let us come in and help you. So we're about it. And yes, there's the whole human rights thing. There's the arrest records. There's so much more to it that, God, how do you get it all into? But we'll be covering as much as we can. It's big stories. Watch the last episode of Cannabis Culture News yesterday. Expert Joints Live Thursday from the day it actually happened. And we'll be covering as much of this as we can till we lose our voices, till we've seen everything. We could be back tomorrow for part of the coverage as well, potentially for the evening for the ceremonies.
Oh, no, we'll be back tomorrow again.
So that's the plans. Anyway, we'll do what we can, man. And we're trying to keep them as honest as we can. We're trying to do everything we can. And shit. It's just we're just happy to be here covering it involved. So.
We're doing it live. We like the 24/7 live idea or the constant stream
In
all
principle,
day.
anyway.
Yeah, if we can do it, we will. You guys, if you're tuned into Pod TV over the last few years, you know how we do this. We let the cameras roll and we keep them rolling. And even, there might be some times when you come back, or if you tune in, or if you watch the whole thing where we're not even on cam, we just set it up and we point the cam out of the crowd for a little while, and we go smoke weed or do whatever we can. We might not be able to bring our cart everywhere. We're going to try and bring it to as many places as we possibly can for you guys. There's going to be some downtime where we got to get outside or whatever else, go chow some food or something.
Also, we're going to do our best with the Wi-Fi and the internet and signal, but again, because we're in a big concrete building, it's been okay so far. But as it gets busier and busier, once you find with a lot of people or we're going to go say more than hi to the LPs. Don't you worry about that.
To our LP friends, says Canadian Giant. Yeah, we really love the LPs a lot, Canadian Giant. Yeah. No, I know. We're going to, if I can get to talk to any real LPs, anybody there, I want to ask them all if they will support coming forward and telling the Toronto police to leave the dispensaries alone. I would love to have like a petition. I wish we would have had
dispensaries across the country, not just in Toronto.
They need to support all dispensaries, an inclusive model, and not be on the side of the people trying to shut these things down. If LPs can come forward and do that, then I'll be supportive of them. We need them on our side.
Like we've on my show, I've smoked a little bit of LP weed before from a couple who, from the looking around, it seemed like they weren't the worst. It wasn't the best weed we've ever smoked, but I've also smoked a lot shittier weed from other dispensaries and other people and stuff. So, it's all in the skill of the grower. But yeah, it definitely wasn't the primo, wasn't the finest, wasn't the boutique-y. Was no Temple of Calyx or anything like that. Shouts to the guys at Temple of Calyx on social media. And of course, make sure you check us out, 512 Beatty Street. Make sure you check us out, 801 Queen Street West in Vancouver and Toronto, respectfully. Yeah, it's okay. Yes, there will also be Lift in September, which we're going to broadcast from again. I don't think we're going to set up a booth or anything there, but we're just going to wander around and, check them out, keep them honest. It's crazy. I believe that we will try and hit everybody we can, though. What I was trying to say is the signal could get a little bit difficult at times here where we might not have all the internet available. So worst case scenario, bear with us, refresh your streams a little bit. We could run into a situation where it gets a little laggy or at times. Hang in there. We're going to start walking around here pretty soon. The first stop we got to make is actually head over to the Sublimator booth pretty soon here. Although Enrique seems to have walked, right? How's the sound going on here, you guys? You doing okay? So, honestly, they didn't pay me. Well, they didn't pay me to smoke LP weed. They sent it. We reviewed it on the show, and the review got, I've smoked better. I've smoked worse. It was $7 weed or something like that, so I didn't have the massive expectations of anything like that. It wasn't hyped as supposed to be the greatest weed on earth. Like I say, I smoked shittier. But anyway, that's just one of them. And as a principle, they don't seem to be the attackers, but there's a handful of them that are making it difficult. We don't appreciate that. So anyway.
Yeah, it does sound really good, actually. I think it's a solid feed, too. It looks really good. I think our little Rogers unit is working pretty well, actually.
Let's give it a try. Let me roll around.
Yeah.
So, of course, Enrique has
Where Rico, that's okay. We'll wait for him. We'll give him a second to come back or something. Yeah, the other thing I was going to say was if you're in Toronto, we'd love to see you at our dispensaries. So, tonight, I'm not sure if there's going to be the same party as going on last night, but there's going to be people gathering at our lounge until 10 o'clock tonight. Our lounge doesn't have any furniture in it yet. Maybe we could show some of that off tonight. Maybe. If we can, and we go back.
They're still there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, all the furniture should still be, we rented tables, like some crappy picnic-style tables and stuff for the lounge for now. We did the best we could, and it actually looked really decent in there for just having it set up over one night. So come down and check us out. Come see the new place. It looks awesome. Go check out our social media feed for what the front facade of the thing looks like. We got when people were walking by this place, it has a massive window out front with the giant words cannabis culture on it and a giant wall decal on the inside that you can see glowing from the outside. And every single person that walks by on Queen Street is looking in that window. And a whole bunch of our friends just happened to be walking by and stopped in. People from all over the place that you hadn't seen for a long time. They just like, whoa, there's a cannabis culture here. I think a lot of people don't realize. Oh, there it is. A lot of people don't realize that, you can't really see. It's kind of a hard, difficult one to see. The picture's a bit dark, but that was at night. Yeah, anyways. That's all right, man. They get the gist. You got to see it in person. We'll try and get some footage from there later for you guys. The other thing I wanted to, when we go around today, I want to see how many of the people that have been to the Treating Yourself Expo and the Champs one are here, the legacy crew. Because I know there's going to be, because this industry has blown up so much in the last couple of years or whatever. Hey, there's Tracy. Yo, you want to come over and say hi to Pod TV? Oh, and Brody's in the house. Yeah, come say hi to Pod TV. What's up, guys? Tracy, how's it going?
Hello.
Say hi to Pod TV.
Hi, Pot TV. I am here at the Lift Cannabis Expo. I have decided to see, after all the bullshit in Toronto, I have decided to see the world through rose-colored glasses today.
Yes, me too.
Yes. We're just going to see the love and the rose-colored glasses. And
Yeah. Well, we're just over here selling out, to the Lift, to the LPs at
We have
Lift.
some critics who are criticizing this expo because of its in bed with the LPs thing. What's your take on that?
Considering I've just gone through around the booths, and if it's in bed with the LPs, then we're the dominant partner in bed with the LPs, because there are a lot of dispensaries out there representing. There's a lot of talk about defending dispensaries out there. The most awesome Amy Anonymous donated her Can-Do booth to turn it into a Save Our Dispensaries booth. There are seed companies out there, Vaporize, all those companies that have ever been here at the TY Expo and the Champs Expo are back with the small addition of a few LPs. And not all of them are bad. I understand that there are some people that are against the licensed producer market, but I've said this a number of times, not necessarily. I was one of those patients, my first grower, even though I was educated and connected. I lost my first year of harvest because my designated grower stole from me. So these LP growers were brought in to stop that abuse from happening. And I don't care who you're listening, Pot TV, you all know MMAR patients that were ripped off by one grower or another. This was a way to regulate that program, and while I feel that some of the people involved in the business are nefarious fucks,
Yes, they are. Some of the biggest ones.
and the biggest one, I spend a lot of time feeling like I'm losing in a giant game of fucking Pac-Man with that one, but some of them are just simple people that.
Main sponsors of this.
Yes, they are.
We're not talking about Crop King seeds.
No, and just so if anybody, I have a T-shirt idea. You know me, I love T-shirt ideas, but I don't always have a chance to produce them. So here's my suggestion for a T-shirt, folks. That one company, if you put an SHI at the beginning of their name, what does that spell?
Oh, we gotta make that shirt.
Can someone make that shirt? I'm a size medium. If anyone could make me one, the idea is free.
Tracy, I'm taking that idea.
Please do.
We can make cannabis culture shirts for our stores that have shit weed. Shit tweed.
And I do believe Sarah Campbell has the font.
Oh man, perfect. Oh, perfect.
So, just putting that out there, people. Just,
do that.
yes.
Well, Tracy, we talked a little bit on my show yesterday about what happened at the business convention yesterday morning. Can you relay that to them?
All right, so I don't think my press credentials for 12 High Chicks are going to be very good at cannabis business conferences anymore. I managed to get into that conference. I'm a patient advocate. I couldn't afford a $2,000 fucking ticket. So I used the press credentials to get in there. And when I arrived yesterday morning, the day after our raids here in Toronto, the opening speaker, and I quote verbatim, "Well, it's a better morning for us here this morning, because if you haven't been watching the news, they raided the dispensaries in Toronto yesterday, which means we can get back to the business of putting medical marijuana in the hands of the professionals."
That's bad.
So,
These are the enemies.
these are the enemies. These are the investors and the bankers, and a lot of not LPs, but prospective LPs. And those motherfuckers, they called themselves the professionals. And had I not been so angry and yelled at them and stomped out first, I called shame and told them that the business plans that they were people were being prosecuted for today were the ones that they were counting on for tomorrow. So how dare they? But what I really should have done was gone around that room and asked them what THC stood for, the medicinal benefits between an indica and sativa. I should have gone around that room and asked them all 10 basic cannabis questions to see who the actual fucking experts and professionals are.
Well, Mary Beth was there in the evening, and apparently they did a show of hands of how many people have actually smoked marijuana, and only 5 people put up their hand. And then they asked how many people know what dabs are, and almost nobody put up their hand.
Exactly, and they're claiming that they are the professionals and they are going to keep us safe. And luck.
Don't know anything about it.
No, absolutely nothing. And in fact, the first speaker of the conference, one of the speakers on the conference of the first day that I was there before the raids happened, was former Ontario Minister of Health George Smitherman. And he was talking about the MMAR and all the things that were wrong with dispensaries. So after Mr. Smitherman spoke, I went up to him and said, "Hi, do you remember me?" And he's like, "I think so. I don't think you had glasses." And I went, "No, because my first job in medical marijuana more than 13 years ago was hosting a breakfast for then Minister of Health George Smitherman at a Compassion Club to explain to him what was wrong with the MMAR program and why compassion clubs needed to be regulated." So I taught him everything he fucking knows, and then he slammed us out the goddamn door in front of his business investors. He is a prospective LP, and I find it interesting enough that he has the right to call us drug dealers and call us down when he has his own history of meth addiction. Not that I am calling out anybody in the addiction and their drug of choice, but I am just calling out the hypocrisy that someone with a meth addiction problem thinks that dispensary owners are the criminals.
Well, and I keep saying that it's not the concept of licensing the producers that's bad. We want the producers to be licensed. We want everybody to be licensed in some way. It's just that we want the model to be all-inclusive, and we don't want to draw some line in the sand where we have corporations, Molson Cannabis, versus the smaller guys producing the craft beer guys or the craft cannabis guys. Like, really, it's silly to say, well, Starbucks can have all the coffee and do the whole thing, but you got to order it through the mail,
I find it disturbing that they keep calling we're uneducated or we're not the professionals, they're the professionals. I find it disturbing because in any other industry, I am known and you are known. I am a subject matter expert. I have dedicated well more than that 10,000 hours to this subject. And not just cannabis, on policy, on medical marijuana, on a number of different things. So what I always found interesting was when the LP program started, they hired a lot of SMEs. They hired a lot of us SMEs, and then they didn't listen to a word we said.
Right. Yeah, that's how they use it. No, it's brutal. Well, and that's kind of the Vancouver thing, too. It's like get everybody in there to give their advice and all this kind of, and then don't take any of their advice.
Don't take any of their advice. They're assholes. They're all assholes.
Stormy.
Yay, Stormy. Stormy added me on Instagram this morning. She did. It was awesome.
Yeah. Stormy is the new co-host of Expert Joints with my man Craig here. She's now Pot TV's Stormy Ent. So
because here's something that I've spoken to Jeremiah before, because every pot show on Pot TV really does need its token female.
The reason that we've actually got Stormy on the show is because